collectively manage about 2 billion hectares of ocean, which is about 5% of the planet's surface. So I use this photo in particular because I want this to be the only memory you leave with after listening to my presentation. This is where I come from. This is my village in Lau Lagoon, Solomon Islands. Within these two places, there's 7 groupings of people. The land is known as the Tolo, and the sea is known as the Yasi, which means that the people who live on the land are called the Tolo people, or the Himalaya Tolo. And the people who live in the sea, or did you know that the islands are actually man-made islands? And the people who live on the islands are called the Himalayasi, the people of the sea. And so their knowledge, their way, their practices is shaped by that space. Now I come to this work by accident. I was actually working in government, and I was leading this national planning process. And we were doing planning for the entire EEZ. I'm first generation to live in the city, so I have experienced or have still witnessed my grandparents who live in the village. My parents lived in the village. And by doing this planning process, one thing that came out so distinctively is that we have not acknowledged the local realities. And what was more, I would say, threatening was me, a person from place, was leading that process. And I was not able to bring the local reality into the process. So I paused, and COVID happened. And I met Elisa. And she's like, why don't you do a research? So, okay, I'll do a research. So at that time, COVID happened, and it made me rethink as well. I'm not in academia, but I think the best way to do this work is in 2 ways. And can I do it? And Elisa's like, go for it. It's giving me that space. And I went for it. First was immersing myself in my local reality. I'm a marine scientist by training, and it was like really just letting that go and immersing myself in place. The second thing was looking at how best can I bring that local reality into this process. And so it's asking my mother, how can I connect with you? How can I connect with our people? And she came up with this concept, which was everyday everything that every day we do it. It's called wunono. It's a process. It's a conversation, but it's also a negotiating process, and it's a constituting process. That's how these people in the Asi have been able to organize themselves. So I'll show you something as well. What do you see? It's just sea. But this is actually a well-zoned sea, and it's called alatas. This entire space is already planned, and probably planned like 5 centuries ago. And these alatas were like common knowledge, and I was doing ocean planning for the country, not including that. So anyway, one thing that I want to bring out into this conversation is the work that we do in places like this need to really acknowledge that traditional knowledge systems do exist, and they still exist today. This place is not a past place. This is our life. This is where I come from. The laws and the practices are still there. But if we continue to tell people that their knowledge system is not good enough, and if it does come from people like me who's from place, that is far more threatening. So basically my research, in order for us to transform ocean governance, is about giving space, for people like me who come from these knowledge systems to bring this out so that we can include it in whatever management practices we want to promote. I think I'll